Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma friend, we are learning Sutta Pitaka, and today we will be learning a different chapter, not from the Majjhima Nikaya. Next week I will do the Majjhima Nikaya's 50th Sutta. There is one simple sutta in connected discourses. We will see this sutta. It's very beautiful, very short, but has a very deep meaning in this sutta. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Shraddhavan, meritorious disciples of Buddha. This is called Sabbhisutta. Sabbhi, it means association, virtuous, to be with the noble friends or association of noble friends and benefit of it. It is mentioned here. Samyutta Nikaya, this is the first book. It is about deities. Most of the time, from the different region, from the different places, deities come, and then what they think about the Buddhism, or if they have any questions, they ask from the Buddha, and they try to, if they have a question, they express in front of Buddha, and they hope that Buddha will accept or make some amendment in it. So with this thought, the deities comes and they talked with the Buddha in several times. So this is sutta, one of the suttas. It is similar to that. Let's see what the sutta explains about. Evam me suttam, so that I have heard. Ekang samayang bhagava savathyang viharati jetavane anatha pendikasa arame. On one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling at Savatthi in Jeta's grove, Anath Pindika's park. Atako Sambahula Satullapakaika Devata. This is the one of the different kind of deities. Means have the different names for those. So one of the deities, they came to the supreme in the Jeta's grove, lighting up the entire park, and they went to the Buddha, they worship him, and then they stood in one side. One of the deity, he says these words to the Buddha, says, Sabbhireva samasetha sabbhi kubbeta santhavam satang saddhamma manyaya seyo hoti na papi oti. What he says to the Supreme Buddha, Bhante, that associate only with the virtuous. Okay? Try to get close to the virtuous. Understanding the true teaching of the good, things get better, not worse. The meaning is very simple. If you see what the Buddhist, what does these deities say? Associate with the only virtuous people. So virtuous, it means that who is following minimum five precepts and 10, 8, 10, and then the ordination precepts, like the monks, nuns, what they observe the precepts, follow those people, means have the association with them. Then it says, try to get closer to the virtuous. It's not about only one time or that, but to stay a longer time period. In one sutta, Buddha mentioned that if you want to know any someone's virtue, you cannot know in a one day or two. It takes longer time to know that person is virtuous or not. So uh, associate with them for the long, long time. It should not be that, okay, I go once in a while and then I talk. That's all. Not, no. Have associate for a long time. Satang Saddhamma Manyaya, listen the Dhamma, what they teach, what the practice they are doing, they will teach you. Or what the teaching of Buddha. So learn that from them. Because with this all things, so association, being close to them, listening to the Dhamma or understanding or trying to understand this teaching, what will happen? That seyono hoti papi hoti. So things will get better, not the worse. In our entire life, what we try to do, we try to ease our life. We try to make simple. We try in our life to have the, separated from the things which will harm us, because when you associate the good people, what will happen? Slowly, slowly, bad things, bad habits, you will get rid of. So, uh, evil things, the unwholesome things, you will be separated from them. Like when you have the association of friends who always go for, drinks or intoxications, what will happen? You will avoid one day or two, three, and then you will see, okay, everyone is doing these things. Let me have to those two. And slowly, slowly, you may get addicted to that. But if you are associating with the good people and they are always explaining, they are telling about the virtue, they are telling about the generosity, they are telling about the meditations, and they encourage you, okay, let's go for meditation today. And you will say, or the person will say, no, I don't know how to do meditation. I don't want to sit down for their closed eyes for the long time. You will avoid one time, twice, three times, and then you'll say, okay, every time these people go, and let me try one day. So automatically your mind also goes there. You become a part of that. And then if it helps you, what will happen? Nice. You will automatically, you will continue that for uh, several times and you will have the advantage of that. So here this deity come and he said these words to the Buddha one day. What I think is that the person, who want to be happy or who want the good thing in this world, so who want to who want to gain something in this world, who want to make his life better, what should have done? This person should be associate with the virtuous people. This person should get close to those who follow the Dhamma. Because when you are, and you should try, understand the teaching, what they learn and teaches. When you do that, automatically, slowly, slowly, you will be separated from the unwholesome actions or unwholesome thoughts, and your life will divert toward virtue and the wholesome actions. So this is the first verse that these deities ask. One of the deity asks. This entire incident happens like this. In the commentaries, it mentioned the one story that I will explain. I think so. We have learned these stories before. So this story is something like this. Several deities came here, and the story is like this. In a long time ago, there was a people. They were traveling for the business purpose in the boat, and close to the 700 people were there, or more than 700 people were there. And for the long time, the journey was for the longer time period. Means they don't have the engines and all, so it cannot be very fast. So slowly, their boat or their ship started to move. For the 7 days they spent in the sea, and very huge storm hit them, and their boat started to sink. So everyone, like all the 700 people, they were devastated and continuously chanting their own gods and their beliefs, what they with their things, so they are chanting the name, they are calling the name of the deities, and they are saying, please save us, and those things. In between all those mist, there is a one person who was very calm, quiet, sitting on the deck, and cross-legged, sitting very calm and peacefully. So a couple of people come and ask that this is not a time to do these things, why you are doing this and why you are very calm. And we are going to die. And he said that before I come here, before I come to this ship, I have done something which will protect me. I have done something which will help me. So I do not have any worry. I don't have to be frightened for this. So they asked, what did you do? You know, that everyone is frightened. They are religious also. They are calling the name of their gods. But what the special thing that you have done that which makes you this still in this devastated time? So he said, before I come into this ship, I have offered the food to the virtuous one, and when I offer the food, these bhikkhus, the monks, they asked me to go to the refuge to the Buddha and observe the precepts. So I did so. I went to the refuge to the Triple Gem and I observed the 5 precepts. And because of that, I am not worried, because until this moment, I am keeping these precepts very well. I am protecting it, so I do not have to be worried. So this all people say, okay, if this virtue, if this precepts makes us something like this, then I also want to observe the same thing. And they request him to give the 5 precepts or give the refuge. So he said, okay, cannot do with all 700 people. You have to divide in the 7 parts, and one by one, they observe the precepts. So when they were observing the precepts, he was always telling to them what he says, Anyam tummak patisaranang natti. There is no other refuge to you. Okay? Only and only one sarana, only and only one refuge is there. It is called the Buddha's refuge. Then they say, then he says, Silameva avajethati. Only and only the virtue, the precepts that is there, you have to think of. You have to follow off. So 2 things he mentioned. One thing, that whatever, because he has seen these all the people when their boat started to sink, what they did, they started to chant, they started to calling their different names of God, and they were hoping that they will protect, these gods will protect them. So they had a different refuge. They had a different thoughts in their mind. So he said, okay, from now on, there is only one sarana. From now on, there is only one refuge, and that is the refuge of Buddha. And you have to think only of this virtue that I am following this precept. So the group came. On that time, the water was just only below the means it touching their feet, at bottom. Then the second group came. The water was until their calves. Then the third group came. The water was in their knees. Then the until the yes, and then fourth group comes when there was in the west, up to the west, and slowly seventh group came, and the water was like a touching here, and they were all of them they passed away from them, and all of them has only one thought that I have observed the precepts. This positivity, these thoughts are very strong. In this world, they know that we are in the condition that no one can save us because 7 days they were in the sea. 7 days. So there is no rescue team, nothing like that. And what they learned from that, always deities will not come to protect, but what they have observed and what they were uh, this observing of precepts, it will save them in not this very form, but so in the past, in the next life, all of them they born into the one of the heavenly world, Tavatinsa. So Tayantis, the 33 deities are there. So they are all born there, and they born in this form, like our galaxy. It is something like the sun and all the planets circling around. So the they were also looking like that. On the center, there was a very huge, very shining, the brightest of all mansion was there. And then circling of them, the hundred homes were circling in all together. Not circling, but it was stayed like that. And as a center one was very illuminating, slowly the light is fading after the past one. And this scene has seen by the Mughal Bante also. So this deity, after they passed away, they all came to the Buddha and they were mentioning these things to the Buddha. They were saying that Bante, association of the virtuous. So it doesn't mean only to the monks. The person who has observed the precepts, who is following the Dhamma, associating with them also have the same result. Because in the Buddhism, it's not only the monks who goes to the refuge, away. Akkani Sutta is also mentioned where the monks, nuns, devotees, the lay person, the Upasaka and Upasika, they are all the four people who travel everywhere and teach the Dhamma. So here it is mentioned this, the person who want to have the good things, means who want the goodness thing for himself, that person should associate the virtuous people, try to get closer to them, listen what they are teaching, what the practice they are doing. We also try to observe it. And with this association, with this observance, with this listening of Dhamma, what will happen? Their mind will not go to the bad things. It will be avoided and they will follow the path. So that is the first deity says. After the first deity said these words, another deity, Atako Apara Devata, Bhagavato Santike Imangatangavasi. So another deity came and he said these words to the Supreme Buddha. What he said? Sabbireva Samaseta, Sabbi Kubbeta Santavam, Satang Saddhamma Manyaya, Panya Labati, Nanyatoti. He said these words to Buddha, what? Associate only with the virtuous. Try to get closer to the virtuous. Understand the true teaching of the good. Wisdom is gained, but not from anyone else. So, he said, Bhante, that who want benefit his own life, who wants something good in his own life, such a person, what he should do? He should associate the virtuous one. He should get closer to them. He should learn and practice their teaching, because by doing that, they will that association, that teaching will give you the wisdom, you know, and that wisdom cannot come from anyone else. This is the wisdom. The wisdom, it will come from the teaching. It will come from the association. People are there in the world we see. They say a lot of words, a lot of good things, but they don't have, means they have not realized themselves. But here the virtuous people, or the who are practicing the Dhamma, they have tried this Dhamma by themselves. So they have the experience of it. From that they are speaking, from that they are learning Dhamma, from that they are following. So when we associate, we learn from them. So the second deity said this thing in front of the Buddha. Then another deity received the verses in front of the Buddha. What he said? He said, Sabbireva samaseta sabbi kubbeda santava satang saddham manyaya sokamajjena sochatiti. He said to the Buddha that who want the good to their own life, who wants happiness in their own life, associate with the only virtuous, try to get close to the virtuous, understand the true teaching of the good. You grieving not among the grieving, means in this whole world is suffering from something and something. You know, everyone has their own grief. So in that grieving world, what will happen? You will be the separated one. You will not uh, have that, what we can say, suffer, or you will not have that grief in your life. There is no mourning. You can be separated from that. And it is true. It can be seen. Like, look at the people who are following the Dhamma for long times. It is very easily can be practiced. Most of the time, the Buddhism explain about impermanent. Most of the time that Buddhism explain about everything is going to change. Change is the nature of this world. So the person who follow this path, what he thinks always, okay, I'm happy today, but it is not permanent. This will also change. Today I'm having this kind of thoughts. It will not stay there. It will also change. So this idea of always changing in that person's mind. So something very bad or something very harsh happened to their life. An incident happens. They did not fall immediately by that. First thought comes to their mind. Okay, this time will also pass. This will also pass. It's not going to stay there long. So others, they fall in grief. They suffer because of it. And they said, okay, the entire life has fallen. But the person who practice this Dhamma, they have that stability in their mind. So that's why this deity was saying that the people who are grieving in this world, the person who associate the nobles, does not fall into, does not grieve. There is no grief in their life. So this is the words this third deity said. After these verses, another deity recited this word in front of Buddha. Same thing he said, that Bhante, the person who want benefit in their own life, who want to be happy or want something good, that person should associate the virtuous people. Try to get close to the virtuous. Listen the Dhamma from them. Listen the good teaching. Because who listen this, what happened? Jnati Majje Virojati Satang Saddhama Manyaya, who listen the Dhamma and who investigate in Dhamma, himself practice the Dhamma. Jnati Majje Virojati. The meaning of that this person is shine among your relatives. That is also can be seen in this word. That is also can be seen. Shining means even in your behind, people talks good thing about you. It is seen like this. You may have noticed that several people comes to our monastery. There are good people and there are some of trying to be good. The person who has always associated the bad friends, people say, okay, the family thinks of good of that person, but in front of, in our back also, they says, oh, this person has fallen into the bad friendship. He doesn't have the good friends. But in any reason, the person tried to started to change in his life, following the precepts, for practicing the good path, and they see the difference what is coming in his life. By knowing that, family members started to talk. Okay, something has good happened. He has transformed himself, and the people who were saying that this person is not good, now they are talking about his name. Why? Because what he's following, what he's learned, what he has observed. So, when you have the good friends, when you have the virtuous friend, when you get close to them, when you associate them, and when you understand the teaching of Buddha or teaching of good, then that teaching, that association changes you, transform you from the bad to good. And because of you have become a good, you outshine or you shine among your all the relatives. Like when you gather together, the person who has very pride, or the egoistic person, you can identify, okay, that person has the ego. But you see very humble person who is offering the chair, who is giving the water, very friendly person. What happened? This person shines there. People talked about, okay, he's very helpful person. Whenever you talk with that person, is very humble. Doesn't see you don't see the ego, you don't see the pride. That person is very good. After a long time, we will judge about his virtue, but by the nature, by the observance, and that these good things done by association. Third, the next deities, and the fourth one, he came to the Supreme Buddha in front of Buddha. He recited another verses. What he says, he says, Sabbireva samaseta, sabbikubbeta santavang, satang saddama manyaya, satta gachanti suggatiti. He said, Bante, who want a good thing in his life, such a person should associate the virtuous people, noble one. Associate, be close to them. Listen the good Dhamma. Think of the good Dhamma. Such a person will go to the heavenly world. So the person observe the precepts, the person who associate the noble ones. What happened? This person goes to the heavenly world. There is one verses in Sabbhisutta. Ye kechi buddhang saranang gatase nate gamisanti apaya. Someone who goes to refuge to Buddha does not go to the bad destination. Pahayamanu sanka deha devakaya paripuranti. After departing from this body, after leaving this human world, this person gains the heavenly form. That verses was said by the Buddha because they were all went to refuge to the Buddha and they are appear into heavenly world. So they have seen these things by their own eyes and they are mentioning this thing, and Buddha approved that thing. So here also, this deity, what they say, when you associate the noble ones, when you associate the virtuous people, When you listen to their Dhamma, what happened? That after this death, you born to the heavenly world. These are all mentioning in what way? Because they have themselves seen, they have experienced this thing in front of, in their own life. What? In previous life, they were all stuck in this ship and they were going to die. They were going to die. And one by one, as they were observing, they were listening that there you do not have a different refuge, only the refuge of Buddha. You do not have to think anything else. Think of the virtue what you have observed today and what make it. The people who were, you know, evil thought they were having when, means when the chaos hits, what we do? We try to save ourselves. Doesn't matter whatever happens, you know. On that time, the evil thought, these were all banished from their mind. As the first verse says. Second thought, they gain the wisdom from that and uh, not to get distracted in this time of chaos. What to do? Think of the good things and they use and they born to the heavenly world. Then all of others were crying, if they were all on the grave on that time who observed the precepts. What happened to them? Their grievingness has gone. They were safe, secure. Next group is next few person. What says? He said all of them goes to the heavenly world. Sentinel beings to go to the good place. So these people who observe the Sila, who went refuge to Buddha, what then? They've all gone to the heavenly world. The last, the deity came to the Buddha and he said to these verses, what he said? Sabbireva samaseta sabbi kubbeda santavam satang sattama manyaya satta tittati sasanam tittanti satatanti. This deity, he said also, same thing, but they who want good thing in his life, who want to be happy, who want to do his own good, such a person who has this well wish for himself, that person should associate only with the virtuous, try to get close to the virtuous people, understanding the true teaching of the good. Sentient beings live happily. Continuous happiness is there. Before they were in the human world, they were having this strategy happen, tragedy happened, and they were suffering. But now in the heavenly world, continuous bliss is there. In this heavenly world, it's very good place to live. Very nice. God Sakka also lives there. They have always they have the gathering of the heavenly beings who discuss upon the Dhamma. They have gatherings, they talked about Dhamma. Now that the last deity is saying that I am happy in this world. So what he says, who has these things, who follow the virtuous people, who stays together, close to them, who listen the Dhamma, practice this Dhamma, understand this Dhamma, such a people, even in the heavenly world, they are living longer life. They live the happy life in that place. See, in the Mahasamaya Sutta, we see these things. The heavenly beings who were in the Vipassi Buddha's time, they were also there, you know, in Akasha Buddha's times. So eons has passed. These deities were still there. They're staying in that world. That thing is visible. So this deity, what it says, the live happy life in heavenly world. Then, after this entire conversation, you know, this one of the deity says, Atako apara devata bhagavanta getu. One of the deity said this thing to Buddha. Kasanu ko bhagava subhasitanti bhante. Sir, who has spoken well, whose words are, now there is a little bit of comparison in between them. So they were saying Bhante, who has said the best thing, whose words are good. Buddha replied to them. Buddha says, Sabba sango subhasitang pariyayena. You have Everyone who has said well in your own way, like what they have experienced, they were expressing through the words. And now that's true. In among these 700 people, when that deity has said something good thing, one of the teacher who was very calm for who has practiced this virtue for 7 days, that person was very calm. When he expressed these words to them, as they learn, they have seen these things in that ship. And now in the heavenly world, they are experiencing these things there. So they are saying these words. So Buddha says, everyone has spoken well in your own way. Listen now, what I am going to say. Apicha mamapi sunatha. I am also telling you the some things. So Buddha said, Sabbireva samaseta sabbi kubbeta santavang satang saddhamma manyaya sabba dukkha pamuchyati. Buddha says, who want good thing in his own life, who wants to be happy. Everyone wants to be happy. So such a person should associate the noble ones, associate the virtuous people, you know, uh, try to be closed with them, listen the Dhamma and try to understand. Manyaya, Saddhamma Manyaya. Manyaya, it means constantly thinking of or trying to understand it. Such a person who do these things, association, getting closer with them, having, living together, living there, uh, those people who listen Dhamma and investigate it in their own life, Sabba Dukkha Pamuchyati. They are free from all the defilements. They are liberated. They can attain the enlightenment throughout that. Whose words are these? These are words of the Buddha. Deities who has this association, what the fruit, what the benefit they express this. But Buddha says, who are close to who has these qualities in their life moves, their life takes them toward liberation. And that is the best things we can have. Like this, all the benefit we will have. We will be separated, means like this is association, like all together, whenever we gather, whenever we go to the monastery. In the monastery, we do not have the evil thoughts, do we? We don't. We see something, oh, beautiful Buddha statue. We see how people are working. And among that, we also motivate ourselves to let me do something, to help the monastery for sustaining, helping for the gardening, these all things. Even the laziest person also goes to monastery and that person also works there something or pretend to work. Why? Because of that association, that environment is built up there. The person who goes to the monastery or have that association, what happened? That time they gain the wisdom. What the wisdom? They see, okay, everything is changing. Be stable. When you go to the monastery, what happened? Doesn't matter how much you have worries in your life, slowly, slowly it releases. You see, there are a lot of sad people come to the monastery and they feel ease there. They feel happy. There are a lot of happy people come also and they feel more happy. Why? Because of the environment, what is built up there. So every person has virtue when you go to the monastery and when they are associating together, that positivity transform person into best thing they can have. When you go to the monastery, you identify, okay, you are the son, your daughter, you are this person, and your relative says, okay, this person is very good. When you go to the monastery, when you go to the association, when you have the association of noble ones, what happened? Automatically, you become worthy to go to the heavenly world and enjoy that uh, life in there. In other words, Buddha says in last one, what he says, when you have this noble association, you attain the stages of enlightenment. Sota, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arhat, stream enterer, once written or not written, and enlightenment. These are all happens when you associate, when you get close to the virtuous people. So uh, we should understand this. This association, this being together with the monasteries, it is not something to listen at one time and then no. It will take us to that stage. So all the benefits is mentioned here. These deities, they experience themselves. This will all of things we will have in our own life. And until now, until when? Until we are having the association of these virtuous people. When you're trying to be together, we are associating going there, listening Dhamma. Not only listening, but investigating it in our own life. Like uh, Buddha explained, practice the virtue. We also do that. We try to do. Buddha says, try to generosity. We're trying that. Buddha said, try to meditate. We are trying that. And when he's explaining, okay, we should do this, that time we are having the benefits of it. So when we think of the benefits, we are more and more motivated to do this. So when this entire conversation happened, Idamavocha Bhagava, as the Buddha said, these things, Attamanata Devatayo Bhagavantang Abhivaditva Padakinam Katva Tattevantara Dhayinsuti. As this word has said, these beings, those beings were happy to see, they understand that, okay, this deities thought that Buddha has approved our words. Buddha did not say anything. Buddha said, yes, that's true. All the benefits are there. And respectfully, they bow down to the Buddha, they circle, and then they disappear from that place. So these are the beautiful sutta which can help us to do a lot of things. Whenever your mind say, okay, now I should not follow the Dhamma or I should not go to the monastery, think of this, all the benefits. And then you will see automatically this thought will encourage you to move forward. And the best thing in this sutta is Buddha mentioned, by only doing these things, what will happen? You will be enlightened. You will be released from all the sufferings. It's true. This entire Sangha, whoever goes refer to the Buddha, what happens? Slowly, they follow the path and they attain that stages. It is mentioned, Sariputta Bhante, Mugalan Bhante, went to the Buddha, become enlightened. The first disciple of Buddha from the household who become a monk, Yashagapati, Yasha, when he went to there, his all friends also follow him. And all of them, they become enlightened, liberated. From the other families, people came, they also went to the Buddha, went refuge to Triple Gem, and they were also liberated. Who were unable to follow, they will all go to the heavenly world. That is seen. So, this refuge to the Buddha, our practice of this observing of precepts and following him will not go in vain. It will give result unimaginably in a good way. So keep the practice continuous. Motivate yourself to follow the Dhamma. Keep association of noble friends. Keep practicing generosity. Keep practicing meditation, and you will have all the benefits in this world. Okay, so may this sutta, Sabbhisutta, Association Sutta, the Good Friendship Sutta, be helpful for all of us to have this benefit, all the benefits in our life. May we realize the Four Noble Truths and escape from all the suffering from this world. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Any questions you want to ask? We can discuss a couple.
Thank you, Bhante. I'm just wondering, this came to my mind. You were saying when all the disciples came to the Buddha, they all became enlightened.
So, not all, most of them.
Not all, most of them. So are we, since the Buddha is not with us, does the Dhamma kind of replace that?
Yes.
Because a lot of us, go to the monastery and meditate, but I don't know how many become enlightened. Was it easier at the time of the Buddha to get enlightened?
Yes, it was easier. It was easier. The reason is that, it's very simple reason. Uh, when, means from the long practices, like we are today doing, the similar practices the people has done in the their past also, and they have done with the gatherings. So when the meritorious people are born, they find the similarity in the world. So who has practiced Dharma in previous life, automatically when the Buddha was there, they were associate him.
Mhm.
And because of their merits, it immediately give result to them. That is the first thing. Second thing, the distractions, changing of mind. Like today, we have social media, so concentrating on one thing, it becomes very hard today.
Mhm.
Our grasping now means that time there is a very simplicity, simple life was there, and not lot of knowledge is coming, lot of news are not coming to them. So the mind was also protected with that. Now, like I mentioned this one sutta, you will go to the Google or you will ask, it will give you the thousands of sutta and thousands of things in rush in your mind. How much you can follow? Most
Mhm.
of time it goes to the listening, or most of time will go to the reading those. Following become less. So that is the second thing. In Buddha's time, it was easy to follow. Even after the Buddha's passed away, like 1,000 years, it was very visibly seen the practices was there. But later on, as the decline of the followers or association, then that changes. Even now, today also, like you go to the Sri Lanka and you see people are not becoming enlightened yet, not like that as a Buddha's time, but you will see their faith has increasing every time. Their practice of virtue has increasing. It's a beautiful thing. This is a February month, Feb. Every February there is in 14th Feb, there is a call Valentine Day. Yeah. So
Mhm.
the world is celebrated. Our teacher, like 10 years back, or like yes, 10 to 12 years, I'm knowing that, started a one program for youth. And as he started, like 5,000 youth from Sri Lanka, they gathered together to listen this Dhamma talk, his teaching. And after a couple of years, what I have noticed, the students who were not virtuous, they are following the celibacy precepts until they are getting married.
Mhm.
That change comes from the association of teacher. People earlier, the students, means I'm not saying everyone who associate the teacher.
Mhm.
Earlier, they were doing, they were doing partying, drinking, and all these things were happening. Even in Sri Lanka, there is those all things you can find. But who went to the monasteries, they said, Bhante, because of this, I haven't touched it from that moment. Means here now in Western culture, we find that we need AA meetings to, be sober, to stay sober. That thing we see in here, just because of going to the monastery and talking with bhikkhus, that change has come. So that 10 to 12 steps to recovery, it happens just by one, because of association. That thing is that much powerful. You may have seen in Sri Lanka, their mind, their goal toward enlightenment is very clear. Who has the uh, teaching of teacher? That is very clear. People are confused, most of, but who has a teacher? They said, okay, this is the things. What does it mean? Still, the enlightenment is there. If not today, in very life, you will enlighten. But because of this clarity of Dhamma in your life, You will be worthy even in heavenly world, because as I started this sutta, I mentioned in the Triantish Deva, in the heavenly world, the 30 deities there, they have the one gathering. Every full moon day they gather and they discuss upon Dharma. And
Mm,
all the stream enterer or who is reaching to enlightenment, those deity will be seen. And when you go to them, you will observe the same thing. You will understand the same thing. So that is the benefit.
mm,
So our practice today will not be in waste. It will be fruitful. Okay?
mhm.
And not enlightenment at this very moment because it is little bit hard, but changes are there. Okay, I hope.
Thank you, Bante.
You're welcome.
Just a comment, like I wish I had like a monastery nearby me to kind of like go there every now and then, or at least once a month or so. I actually had a lot of opportunity when I was like younger because my
Mhm.
grandparents would go to temple a lot. And you know, in my culture is older people tend to be a lot more religious.
Yes.
Um, with the younger one, it kind of fades away, I guess, at least nowadays. So I had a lot of opportunity. But the thing is, and in fact, my grandma would used to, you know, hold my hand and actually take me to temple. And temple wasn't that far to like our, you know, ancestral home. But the thing is, you know, I never really took interest. And now that you know, I'm grown up or something, like I'm like, okay, I had a lot of, you know, opportunity, but didn't realize, I guess. But I was also like pretty young, I guess. But
There is a couple of reasons behind. I agree with you, completely. When we are young, our grandparents or mother, father, they take us to the monastery. But later on, this thing happened. They emphasize on study well. Don't do this thing, don't do that things. So when the time that we should observe a little bit of religion, that time they mention, okay, studying is the most important thing, and our entire focus in that. As we little bit grow old, we see the other kids are enjoying, the playing and that. So our mind is diverted there also, and slowly, slowly this, the practice to go there is finished. But now, the youngsters, when they follow the Dhamma, they have the best understanding of Dhamma compared to the older people. Elderly people have these things, they go, they follow, but the previous beliefs are always with them. And they always compare, okay, this thing is Buddhism mentioned, I was following this. What is the difference? So they are comparing all the time. For youngsters, giving up their previous views is more easy for them. Like now I'm having that experience here, not with me, but kids what they are learning. Like now I'm having here, I'm doing the Sunday school. Every Sunday there is like a minimum 40 no, 35 to 40 students or youngsters, they comes to having the Sunday school. I'm teaching there for last 3 years continuously. Every Sunday they are coming. Now, couple of students are 18 years or 20. They are also there. Like they started when they're 16, 17, 18. Couple of students are there started. And I see like older people I'm teaching, they always compare. Oh, in the other religion, this mention, and here also the similarities there. What we should do, what is the truth. But for these youngsters, I said, yes, this is from the Buddhism. And they observe it beautifully. I never stop them from the playing. I never say something to do, okay, don't do this thing, don't do this thing. I say, all enjoy yourself. But there is a limitation of enjoyment. It should not, you means your enjoying should not hurt another. Your enjoying should not hurt yourself. Your life should be very happy and focus in one direction. And they see that thing and they're happy. So I'm very happy that yes, whoever come back to the Buddhism, they are also happy. Okay, I hope that that's all for today. Thank you very much for participating today. Let's share the good things. Today we gather here, went refuge, we observe precepts, practice meditation, learn the Dhamma, discuss upon Dhamma. By listening, by learning, teaching, we have accumulated a lot of good karma. We share this all the merit to all the heavenly beings. May all the heavenly beings rejoice in this merit, and they may realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautam Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We share this merit with our departed relatives, all the departed relatives in this life or long life of samsara. Whoever departed from us, we share this merit with them. By the power of this merit, they may have a good life and they may escape from the harsh journey of samsara. Sadhu, sadhu. We share this merit with our teacher, Lokuswami Hansa, all the monks in the monastery, all the nuns. We share this merit with them. In this world of long life, all the monks in this world, we share this merit. By the power of this merit, they may have good health, good life, and an association of noble friends, and they may realize the Dhamma in this Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We share this merit with all of you, all of your family members, relatives, friends, work colleagues. We share this merit with them who are offering the or donating for the Delhi monastery. We share this merit with them also. By the power of this merit, by the power of Buddha Dhamma and Sangha and deity's protection, you may all have happy life, healthy life, long life. All the fortune comes your way in the help of the teacher, in the help of the Kalyana Mittas. You may have understanding of Dhamma and you may realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautam Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's ask the forgiveness from the triple gem and then I will bless you. Kaena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang achayam kamame bante bhuri panya tathagata. Kaena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang achayam kamame dhamma sandittika kalika. Kaena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang achayam kamame sangha punyam kettang anuttaram. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Bless you all. Abhivadana Siris Nichang Vadda Pachayino Chattaro Dhamma Vaddanti Ayuvanno Sukhang Balam Ayurarogya Sampatti Sagga Sampatti Mevacha Ato Nibbana Sampatti Iminate Samichatu Sukhihotu.
Our Bhante, allow us to share Mary Bhante and ask for forgiveness. Okasawandami Bhante. Maya katang punyang samina anumoditang.
Sadhu Sadhu Anmodami.
Samina katang punyang mayhang datambang.
Sadhu Anmodita.
Sadhu Sadhu Anumodam. Okasa dwaratena katang sabbang aceng kamatami Bhante.
Kamami Kamitabhang.
Bhante, Dutiyampi okasa kamami Bhante. Tatiyampi okasa kamami Bhante.
Kamami, 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 sukhini dukkhani roga hontu, nibbana sapache hontu. Okay, so Namo Buddhaya. See you next week.
Beautiful sutta.
Oh, Buddha Venerable Bhante. Thank you.
Namo Buddhaya Bhante. Thank you very
Namo
much.
Buddhaya.
Thank you.
Namo Buddhaya CB.
Bhante.
Namo Buddhaya Maya.
Good day.
Namo Buddhaya Raymond.
Namo
Namo
Buddhaya
Buddhaya.
Bhante.
Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya. See you next week.